Hey, hi guys, welcome back. Welcome to my YouTube channel, TechTiger-Academy. I'm Ravi Malhotra, your instructor for this entire cybersecurity with Ravi Malhotra series. This one is the dedicated CCSA checkpoint NGX R80.40. Again, I welcome you all. We have reached lecture number 21, and this lecture is about understanding different types of objects that we can create. Okay. Our lecture number 19 that we discussed is purely understanding the security gateway object. Lecture number 20 that we discussed, it's purely on the security management server object. This lecture exclusively is only for all other different types of objects that we can create. Objects such as network object, objects such as host object, such as IP address range objects, such as interoperable device objects, security zones, wildcard objects, dynamic objects, logical server objects, LSV profile, open security extension devices. So many different types of objects that we can create, and we can use these objects as a reference point in the security policy, and these objects are reusable. Okay, so let us move, guys. That's all of the previous videos and lectures we have. You have the links, and just please explore my channel and you will get links for all the videos. So let us have very basic understanding about objects. And so the moment you start doing configuration in checkpoint, right, this configuration in checkpoint is done in shape of objects, and there are different types of object options available in the console. Okay, such as network security, such as application, such as services. Okay, these objects represent either physical, virtual, or logical network components. Maybe you have a physical router, you can create an object for that. Maybe you have a virtual machine, but it's a component, you can create an object for that, such as gateways, servers, users, logical components such as IP address ranges, and other dynamic objects. Okay. The advantage of object-based configuration is that same object can be reused anytime in any other rule. Okay. Objects are defined in Smart Dashboard console and are stored in the proprietary checkpoint object database. Network object categories. Network object category offers many different types of objects such as host, network, address ranges, dynamic objects, interoperable device, logical server object, dynamic objects, security zones, and many more, right? That we will explore now. Something as a refresh, we know that object for primary security management server is created automatically for you. Then in order to manage the infrastructure, you need to start creating objects. First of all, you will create an object for the gateway. Then you will create objects for all different VLANs, network, servers, applications, and all that. First of all, object for gateway is created, and then other logical objects such as network object, host object, group object, etc. are created. Okay. So that's all, guys. That was just the primer slide of this lecture. There are different types of object categories available in the dashboard. Okay, such as network object is one category, services is another category, custom application and sites is another category, VPN community is another category, users is another category, data types, servers, time objects, user check interactions, and limit. These are different types of categories that are available for you. Each category provides different subcategories or different options, such as the network object category is the largest in terms of number of options. Okay, it provides gateways, hosts, networks, address ranges, dynamic objects, security zones, interoperable devices, so many things you will see under the network object category. Okay, services, service groups, application categories, mobile applications, VPN, users, groups, user templates, roles, Data type, this one is used in the DLP blade. Okay, then you can create additional servers, Active Directory, Radius, TechAx. You can create time objects, you can create different types of information objects, and then you can create different types of, download and upload bandwidth related objects. Okay. So as I just explored, that network object is the largest category. So how we do that, we go to network object, and then we see gateway, we see network, we see host, group, address ranges, dynamic objects, wildcard, security zones, LSV profile. When we click on more, we see interoperable devices, domain, web domain, logical servers, open security extension devices, and access point names. All these different types of objects you can create under network object category. Okay, these all are mentioned over here. Let me show you. It's very simple. Let me show you that. Let me just log into my here. That's my dashboard. I will go to objects. I will go to new. I will go to more. And here you see. So this is the category. Network object is one category. Service is another category. These all are the categories. And inside the network object, you see gateways and servers. You see network, you see host. All these are the categories available for you. Okay. So yeah, these are the options under the network object category. You can create a gateway object to represent your firewall. You can create a network object to create your VLANs, subnets. You can create a host object to create single server with an IP address. You can create a network group. It collects hosts, gateways, networks, other groups. You can create address ranges, a range of contiguous IP addresses with start and end range. Interoperable device. Assume that you want to create a VPN tunnel with one of your partners, and that partner has a Cisco router. So you can define that Cisco router in your configuration as an interoperable device. So object to represent any third party L3 device or firewall that you don't manage. You cannot install policy on this device. That's very important, guys. Sometimes this question comes in an exam, that can you install policy on an interoperable device? No, we cannot install policy on an interoperable device. Then security zones. Zone represents specific network side of a gateway. Some predefined zones are created for you, but you can create additional zones as well. You can create logical server objects, and then you can get features like persistency plus load balancing algorithms, all that. You can also create wildcard objects and dynamic objects, right? These all objects are available for you under the network object category. Okay, let me now discuss the logical server object. Okay, most of you have heard about the concept of load balancing. Let me tell you that, that's it's a it's a server 1, it's a server 2. Okay, this is 1.1.1.1, 1.1.1.2. Okay, and here is a firewall. So you want to achieve load balancing so that when traffic will come to either of the server. So what you will do, you will actually create a VIP for 1.1.1.3. Okay. Any traffic which will come on 1.1.1.3 will be load balanced between 1.1.1.1 and 1.1.1.2 with the different types of load balancing as well as persistency options available to you. Let me tell you that this is not as advanced load balancer as you talk like F5, Radware, Imperva, but this is just a basic kind of load balancing that you can achieve, right? Do not expect very high level of load balancing and persistency from this. So a logical server is a group of machines that provides the same service that we understand. 1.1.1.3 is a logical server. This server is providing same service as the physical servers are providing. The workload of this group or object is distributed between its members. 1.1.1.1 and 1.1.1.2 are members. Member servers providing the same services should be grouped together. If they both are HTTPS servers, then only they should be grouped together under 1.1.1.3. It provides server load balancing characteristics such as persistency and load balancing methods. Okay. So there we have two types of persistency options available to us. One is called persistence by service, other is called persistence by server. Okay, that's what we see over here. Persistence by service, persistence by server. And there are different around 5 load balancing options. One is the random, other is the round trip, third is the domain, other is a server load, and then we have round robin method. Round robin is very common load balancing method. I'm sure you all must have heard about it. Okay, let me first of all show you right how to create it. Right, that's the one that's the object that I have created for myself, which is app locky server. So I'll go to new, I'll go to more, I'll go to network object, I'll go to more, I'll go to logical server. Okay, in the local server I'll say that this is dev locky app. So 192.168.80.6 http service group, let's say that groups app locky servers. You can say persistency by server and then you can select round robin. That's how simple to create it. And then one logical server object will be created for you. Okay, let's say yes. Okay, so let us talk about the persistency options available under logical server object. Logical server object provides up two different methods for persistence. Persistence by service, persistence by server. The only difference is a service, that's it. Because if you try to read the definition, it's exactly identical. It says that once a client, that means a user, once a user is connected to a physical server for a specified server, all subsequent connections from him to the same logical server, all connections to 1.1.1.3, 1.1.1.1, 1.1.1.2. So he connected on this and he gave the connection to 1.1.1.1. 1.1.1.1 is a physical server. 1.1.1.3 is a logical server. This is service HTTP. Okay. So once a client is connected to a physical server 1.1.1.1 for a specified server, all subsequent connections to the same logical server 1.1.3 and the same service for HTTP, any connection from him to 1.1.1.3 for 80 will always be given to 1.1.1 only. That's it. No choice. No load balancing will happen. This is the persistence. Okay. Persistence overrides load balancing. Persistence by server. Once a client is connected to a physical server, all subsequent connection to the same logical server, this for any service. Okay. 80, 443, RDP, FTP, any other service will be redirected to the same physical server. So this is not specific to service only, this is specific to server. Okay, another important concept to understand in the logical server is a load balancing method. This is we see over here, load balancing method. Okay, so we have server load. The security gateway determines which security management server is best equipped to handle the new connection. So it all depends on the security management server. Then we have round trip time. On the basis of the shortest round trip time between the security gateway and servers, normally it is executed and understood with the help of simple ICMP and ping command. Round robin, the new connection is assigned to the first available server and then to the next available server, then again back to the first, then to the next. Random is that the new connection is assigned to a server at random. It all depends maybe on certain algorithms. And then the domain is a new connection is assigned to a server based on the domain names. You may have a domain, .com, abc.com. So then on the basis of this domain, this kind of load balancing will happen. Open security extension devices. This is a wonderful feature for integrating third-party security devices. The open security extension feature lets you manage third-party devices via the Checkpoint Smart Console. Okay. The number of managed devices, both hardware and software packets, depend on your license. It's a pure license-driven feature. OSC, which is Open Security Extension Devices, commonly include hardware security devices for router or maybe authentication devices and all that. And security devices are managed in the security policy as embedded devices. As in my configuration, I'm showing you that I have a Cisco router 70.11, and that's a Cisco one, and that's something I have created using Open Security Extension Devices. Another type of object type category in the network object is security zones. A security zone represent a part of a network. That's the first thing. That's the basic definition. You assign a network interface of a security gateway to a security zone. If this is a gateway, this one is interface, this one is interface, this one is interface. So basically we have three zones. This is inside, this is external, this is DMZ. You can use the security zone objects in the source and destination column of the rule base. So see that the management zone, internal zone, and the SAP zone, they can access the firewall. And then internal zone, DMZ zone, SAP zone, they can talk to each other bi-directionally for any service, right? That's a snippet from my security policy. And there are some of the security zones predefined for you. I have another video which is purely dedicated on security zones, so we will explore security zones in depth over there. Another category is a service object. So service object demonstrate capabilities of defining TCP or UDP based service objects. Some common used and well-known service objects are predefined for you to use them in security policy, such as HTTP for port 80, HTTPS uh, for port 443, Microsoft Remote Desktop Service for port number TCP 3389, File Transfer Protocol TCP21. Okay. Available types in service objects are TCP, UDP, RPC, DCE, RPC, ICE, GMP, GTP, Compound TCP, Citrix TCP, Service Groups, SCTP, and then other services, right? These are all the different types of options available under the service category. Let me show you that. I'll go to New, I'll go to More, I'll go to Service, and this is where I see the categories TCP, UDP, RPC, DCE, IGMP, okay? And if I want to show you the different types of service objects created for you, take an example. I go to service here. I'll click on the plus icon and see that this is all created for you. Take an example, BGP. Okay, BGP works on port number 179. It is created for you. Let me say HTTP. HT. So HTTP port 80 is already created for you. HTTPS port number 443 is already created for you. FTP port number 21 is created for you. Okay. SFTP, it is not created for you, so that means you will have to create it right manually. So that's how the options available under service objects. And what different types of activities that we can perform over the network objects, that's very important. We can navigate, that means where used. We can add object, we can edit object, we can delete object, we can replace, and we can clone an object. These are the different types of actions that we can perform over an object. Cloning means that duplicating. A clone is a copy of the original object with a different name. It's a duplication. Replacing an object. You can also replace one object in the policy with another object. You can delete objects only that are not used. You can delete them, but they should not be used in any policy. There should be no reference for that object. Okay. Where used function. Where used function means that navigation. So take an example. You just want to see that where one particular object is being used in how many rules. You can right click that object and you can click on where used. Then there are different types of tags available for you. You can use the object tags or the keywords or the labels that you can assign to any type of object, maybe network object, group object, host object. There are two types of tags you can assign: user tag and then the system tag. Each tag has a name and a value. The value can be static or dynamically filled by detection engines. Okay, let me show you that. Let me first of all show you that what actions we can perform over an object. So let's say that let me let me enable these policies. Okay, all right. So let's say that if hmm, so let me show you that. So that's the object. So I right click over this object. I click on where used. When I say where used, it tells me where is this object used. Okay, I can clone. uh, let me try to clone. Let me go over here and let me go to the network object inside. That's my network 72. Let me just pick it as an example. Let's say that this one. I'll right click here and I can clone it, right? I can edit it, I can clone it, I can remove it, I can navigate it, right? I can negate it. Okay, these are the different types of objects that I can create. And then if I double click on a object, okay, inside the object I see option for tagging. I'll say that name, hit enter. um, this is kind of inside VLAN. Okay, this is how we can create different type of tags, and then you can click on OK. So that's all, guys. These are the different types of objects that I wanted you to be familiar with. This was the last slide of this lecture. Lecture number 21 is we have ended this lecture. So let me just recap, guys. There are different type of objects that you can create. These different types of objects come under different categories. And then you really need to understand these objects very well. Then only you will be able to play with creation of policies, creation of rules. Uh, Please be attentive and please watch the next video, next lecture. Next lecture is a live lab, and in that lab we will actually create different types of objects, different types of use cases, different scenarios I will discuss. We will create an object for network, we will create an object for host, we will create address ranges, predefined, interoperable, security zones, logical server. Everything we are going to do live right in front of you in the next lab, guys. So that's all, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. I just want to request you to please subscribe, please like and leave comments on this video. Forward it to your friends so that they can learn this technology. And that's all, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all of you. Bye.